When a lawyer for former President Donald Trump argued before the Supreme Court last week that his client should be immune from charges of plotting to subvert the last election, he asked the justices to picture a world in which former presidents were ceaselessly pursued in the courts by their successors. Could President Biden someday be charged with unlawfully inducing immigrants to enter the country illegally for his border policies? The lawyer, D. John Sauer, asked. What Sauer did not mention was that Trump has done as much as anyone to escalate the prospect of threatening political rivals with prosecution. In 2016, his supporters greeted mentions of Hillary Clinton with chants of, "Lock her up." In his current campaign, Trump has explicitly warned of his intent to use the legal system as a weapon of political retribution, with frequent declarations that he could go after President Joe Biden and his family. In effect, Trump has asked the Supreme Court to enforce a norm, that in the United States, public officials do not engage in tit-for-tat political prosecutions, that he has for years threatened to shatter. In promising to sic his Justice Department on Biden, Trump has laid the grounds for the very conditions that he was asking the justices to guard against by granting him immunity. Trump's perspective is that it is Biden who has politicized justice by pursuing him on multiple fronts as they face each other on the campaign trail. In making that argument, however, Trump has sought to evade the reality that no former president has been faced with as many allegations, or as much evidence, of wrongdoing as he has. The two federal cases against Trump were brought by a special counsel operating largely independently of the Justice Department, while the two other criminal cases against him were brought by local district attorneys in New York and Georgia. Paradoxically, should the Supreme Court decide that presidents do enjoy some degree of immunity for their official actions while in office, the ruling would deprive Trump of one of the major themes that he and his allies have promoted throughout the current campaign: that Biden needs to be held to account by the criminal justice system, despite the lack of compelling evidence that he has violated any laws. And should Trump win in November, he would find it far more difficult, if not impossible, to bring a case against Biden for any actions Biden took in office. Last spring, Trump vowed that if he was elected again, he would appoint a special counsel to go after Biden and his family. And as recently as 2 weeks ago, he posted a not-so-veiled threat on social media, saying that if the Supreme Court rejected his claims of presidential immunity, it would also take away Biden's immunity. Over the weekend, Eric Trump, one of Trump's sons, weighed in about a future prosecution of Biden. Appearing on Fox News, he said that if the court denied immunity to his father, it would mean that he did not say exactly who he meant, would be able to pursue Biden for things like having depleted the National Petroleum Reserve.